So what's up, everybody? This is Ruben Garcia, and this is a beautiful day. And today on the Proven by Ruben podcast, we have Tim, and he owns his own real estate business. Yeah. What's up, Tim?
Hey, what's up, man? Hey.
How are you, man?
Hey, nice to meet you, man. Thank you for having me up here, man.
Of course. If you could, tell everyone who you are, what you do, and how you do it.
Okay. My name is Timothy Dudley, founder of Quick Property Solutions. I have an investment company, buy real estate in the Fayetteville area as of now, hoping to expand as years come. 28 years old, from a small town below New Bern, North Carolina. Been in Fayetteville now for going on 5 years, 4 at the moment. So yeah, man, that's pretty much it, man. I'm excited, driven, love real estate, passionate about it, and I keep going, man.
Yeah. So Quick Property Solutions.
Mm-hmm.
That's an awesome name.
Yeah.
How'd you think of that?
I wanted to let people know that, my firm can move, quickly. That was one of the things, but I didn't want to be too aggressive. And then, of course, we have solutions for you.
Right.
It was one of those things, man, where it would just happen overnight. Honestly, I was thinking about a name, and I was like, hey, man, look. And then even the rabbit, the logo, I didn't want nothing like too aggressive. So I was like, hey, what moves quick, right? What moves quick? And when people see it, and I'm knocking on your door with a shirt, it's not like a lion or some type of, dinosaur or something like that. So I was like, okay, well, people see a rabbit and they'll, think, okay, oh, that's a little rabbit. So that's why my logo is a rabbit as well. So.
Did you have to think of that logo pretty quickly, where you were kind of sitting down like, oh crap, what am I going to come up with? Or is it like did it take a little bit of time for you to come up with that logo?
Kind of. I mean, most real estate logos have like houses and stuff of that nature. So I wanted to be different, and I wanted people to. I didn't want to have a logo that just it was a house, and it didn't seem like every other real estate investor. So I was like, man, maybe a rabbit. I thought it long and hard, and I was like, I'm gonna go with it.
I wonder how many real estate investors and real estate agents are looking at the logo right now, like, oh crap, I got like 3 homes in my logo.
Yeah, so I wanted to stand out and be different, man. So that's why we picked it.
Yeah. No, I mean, I love the logo.
Yeah.
And I think, you were thinking about the logo. Did you draw it and hand it to someone? Did you hire someone?
No, actually, I got the copyrights and everything for it. It was a website online.
Which one?
It was, I'm about to tell you, man. Oh, man, what's the website? Logo Ground.
Logo Ground?
Yep, logoground.com.
Okay.
So logoground.com. So of course, I'm looking for a real estate logo,
right?
And I type in real estate. So of course, all houses pop up, and I'm looking like, man, this is not what I want.
Right.
So I was like, what animal, moves quick, but it's not like too aggressive? So I typed in rabbit. So I typed in rabbit, and man, the logo popped up, and it looked like the rabbit was running. So it looked like he was moving quick. So I was like, man, I'm gonna get this logo and just put it on, my company. So I purchased the logo. It was like $300. The guy sent me the copyrights for it and everything. And
Well, that's interesting. So because I've looked at Fiverr.com, logo something. Mm-hmm. But either way, you have to reach out to someone and tell them what you're looking for. This, and correct me if I'm wrong, sounds like you have an idea of what you want your logo to look like. You search it. People have already made the logo, right? And you just buy it from them.
Yes.
Oh, that's cool.
Definitely. It's called Logo Ground, and you can type in whatever you want, and it'll pop up.
Cool.
So I typed in a rabbit, man, when I had that vision, and a rabbit popped up and looked like it was moving quick. So.
And you're moving quick.
Yeah.
So how long have you had this thing going?
I've been doing real estate now for, like I said, as soon as I hit Fayetteville, so going on 5 years. At the end of the year, it'll be 5 years. So, I was like 23 when I purchased my first property in real estate.
Right.
And I think you kind of coached me through it at the time and kind of tell me, what to do. Even you coached me through, I guess, my second deal, and where I house hat. So, you coached me through that. So, so I'll say 4 or 5 years. Yeah, it's going on 5 years.
How long since basically your rabbit logo to where you're at now? Like, when did you establish that?
When did I establish the rabbit? Quick Property Solutions.
Quick Property Solutions.
Yeah, so I, starting off, I had no company, 23, I'm like, no LLC, no corporation, nothing. The only thing I know is to go out there and try to get a house.
Yeah.
So I did that, and then I actually got connected with my former partner. Him him and myself, we started a company, and pretty much it's called Unlimited Homestead Solutions. So we started that company, and then we was doing it for maybe like 2 years, and I formed Quick Property Solutions, I think roughly last year. So and he already had his company because he's like 40 something,
Yeah,
and he's been doing it for a while. So then we decided to go our separate ways. He started doing his appraisal thing, and all of the homes was here that we accumulated over times. And I had some outside of Unlimited Homestead Solutions as well. So then just pretty much put them all in Quick Property Solutions. So I didn't want it to remain Unlimited Homestead Solutions. I wanted to kind of branch off and create something. Because again, Unlimited Homestead Solutions logo, I don't even know if it, I don't even know if it was our logo, to be honest. But it was like it had houses, the giant houses. Yeah. And it's funny I mentioned that because I also seen like different companies with that same house. I'm like, man, so I want to be able to brand something. And so last year I basically got Quick Property Solutions, started a corporation, and then put all the houses that we had underneath that. So.
Yeah, so we'll probably move into a conversation about branding and why that's important. Okay. But to give some context to the people that are listening, how many doors do you have now?
Right now, 11 doors, and 2 that I'm waiting to close on. So, hopefully 13.
Nice.
Next month or so. So yeah.
Do you have a goal?
I'll say financial freedom. I mean, I think whenever I hit the financial freedom number, I think I'm going to be that's going to be doors. So I mean, I'll tell you maybe 20 and maybe 28. I don't know. I think when I hit that number, so that'll be it.
Yeah. So have you sat down and figured out what that financially free number is?
Yes.
Not saying that you have to say it.
Okay. Yeah. Yes, I sat down. I'll be honest. As long as I'm profiting like $300 off each house, then I'm fine. I know a lot of people is like, oh, I need the $600, I need $700. I have it set up so as long as I'm profiting $300 off each single deal, then I'm fine.
And that's pretty good cash flow, right?
Yeah.
And before you came in here, I was actually coaching someone, and I had them break down how much they feel financially freedom is. Like, what is that number a month?
Right.
And then, okay, so how much are you looking per door to get cash flow from? And he shot kind of a high number, right?
Right.
I'm like, just to give you some context,
right.
I own this property, and my cash flow is about 300 profit. So how many doors do you need in order to have that much cash flow? And it ended up being 20-something doors.
Right.
But it brought clarity to it. To that whole process, basically everything you just said. So I'm excited for him to listen to this podcast.
Yeah, definitely. And if I would tell him anything, it's just one of the things. You can't try to slam dunk every single deal.
Right.
You can't look at this. Oh, I need $500. I need it, because you'll end up missing a great deal. So, and I set that number, and I said, man, $300 is what I need off every single deal.
Yeah.
And when you set that number, don't necessarily settle for 200, or I can make it work at 200. If it's 300, and go with it. And if it's more, then that's fine.
Yeah.
But don't try to get more and more and more. And his number may not be 300, but whatever his number is, it should be low. And stick with it, and you'll see them start coming.
So how do you break down that cash flow number before you purchase a deal, and the end game is to look at $200 or $300 plus to come from this deal? How do you look at it? Like, what do you analyze to ensure that it's going to spit off that cash flow?
Right. So, one, I'm looking, location is everything. So I'm making sure the rent in that area is going for whatever I'm trying to, rent it out for. And then I'm looking at pretty much whatever I have invested in it. I'm looking for what it takes to fix up the home. And, just keeping a track record of every single thing that needs to be done to the home. And honestly, I'll send a contract into the home to see pretty much whatever it's going to take. Before signing any deal, I'm not going to sign a deal just because it looks good, just because in the location. I'm sending a contract over there.
Oh, interesting. So do you send a contractor over there before you put an offer on the home?
Yes.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because that helps out my offer as well. Because now I have a list of different things that I can send the seller and say, this is my offer. So I'll submit the offer and say, this is my offer, and this is what backs up my offer as well. So,
okay. Because you don't use an agent, correct? Or do
No.
you?
No,
Right.
but I
Off
love
the market
agents.
deals?
Yeah, off the market deals. I love
Gotcha.
agents. I love
Okay,
agents. Though.
that makes
I love
sense.
agents still. So
Yeah.
nothing against agents.
Yeah.
I work with 'em.
Well, and here's the cool thing is like, you know, I talked to a guy who owns his own island.
Wow.
He's a pretty good guy, right?
Right.
And he's an agent and he's a coach, and he told me straight up. He said, "Listen, the bet," and he's big in Airbnb. That's
Okay.
where his cash flow comes from. And he said, "Listen, man, the best deals that you're gonna get is not using an agent. Is off the market deals."
Right. Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
I appreciate it. You're not hurting any feelings, man.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
Totally get
And
it.
then
Totally get it.
I'll say it, man. I mean, it's what 1,300 agents in the MLS here in Fayetteville.
Yep.
So, you know, I love all 13. But I'll be honest. I mean, you take that middleman out, and man, you're able to negotiate a little bit more, man.
Yeah.
So I love off-market deals. I ride through neighborhoods, and if the grass is all the way up by the window, and I'm like, that's it. They will be getting a postcard in the mail the next day. So, man, I love off-market deals. I mean, if they have a sign in the yard, I'm like, you know, I call, you know, but
that makes sense.
yeah, man, off-market deals are the best. I mean, you got a lot more like wiggle room. You're able to negotiate with the seller.
Yeah.
And it's all about putting deals together, man. You know, my very first deal was an off-market deal. It was the mobile home with the land at the time.
Yeah.
And the guy, he said, hey, you know, I'm looking to sell my house, and I want a mobile home. He said, I want $11,000 for it. So I'm, 23 at the time. I'm like, hey, I want it. In the back of my head, I'm like, where am I going to find $11,000?
Commit first, man. Commit first.
Right. I'm like, where am I going to find $11,000? 23, right? So I ended up waiting, stalled him out. I was like, yeah, I really, really, really want it. So then later I was like, man, I Googled different stuff, like how can I finance a deal, right?
Yeah.
So I asked him, I said, hey, will you take, half of it? That's owner financing for any newbies. He's like, I like, can you take half of it? He was like, yeah. So, it was like $5,000. I asked him, could he take $5,000? He was like, yeah. Then I was like, where am I going to get $5,000 from? Like, where am I going to get $5,000 from? So then I reached out to my grandfather Roosevelt, right? And this is what I'll tell any newbies, like, before you go to any private lender or anybody asking for some money, a substantial amount of money, like, have your ducks in order, like, have everything. You don't even need to go to a lender and say, hey, look, let me borrow this money, and not show them what they're going to receive, and or show them what you're going to profit off of it, right? So I went to my grandfather. I said, hey, I need to show you something. So I made sure I had everything lined out, right? And I showed him, like, pretty much what I would give him off of the deal, and like what I was making off the deal, right? So he felt better. So then at that time, man, it was just like he gave me the $5,000. Then got home, and what was so sweet about it is because before, like, he gave me the $5,000, and before I got home, I was already advertising and telling people, like, hey, look, I got a rental. What do you think about this area?
Right.
It's going for $525. So I had already did the math to see what was the balance, what remained the balance. So technically, I got this deal for $5,000. I didn't put up none of my money, and the tenant that I put into the home paid the seller the rest of the money. Yeah. So sweet deal, man. And this property right now still rents out for $525, best. And it's a mobile home, so it's depreciating. The mobile home is depreciating, but the land is still there. Yeah. So, man, that's pretty much what put me in the game. So, right now I'm still receiving that money off of that house.
I think that's important that, with what you said is that you committed first. You told the guy that, listen, I'm going to do it, and $5,000. But I think the cool thing about committing first is you get creative afterwards. Right. And you got super creative. And so much so, you had your name on it, and because you committed, it had to be done. Right. And so much so that you were already reaching out to people saying, listen, this thing's going to be for rent in a few months, and already building that demand for it. That's awesome.
Yeah, man, I was on it, and it worked out, man. It worked out. The guy got his money, and man, like I say, the house is still there. So, very, very first deal, man.
You lucky dog. But at least you committed, right?
I committed, and I mean, I think you even motivated me. Well, not think, you even motivated me and pushed me. When I really didn't see the vision, I remember working at UPS at the time. You were still there. I'm still at UPS, unfortunately, for a little bit. Yeah. But, I remember you saying, like, man, go out there and put it together. So you still didn't, like, go home with me to say, hey, look, Tim, this is what you need to do. This is what you need to do. Like, but you was telling me to go after it at the time. Yeah. And I was like, man. And I went home and did it, and made it work, man.
Well, I appreciate that, and
Yeah.
I think contacts equal contracts, right?
Right.
So, meaning the more people I contact, the more contracts I have, and with you saying that, I think the more conversations I have,
Mhm.
the more action I'll see.
Right.
And at the end of the day, and I appreciate it. And you're the one who stepped up. You're the one who
Right.
committed. You're the one who got creative to find the 5,000. You're the one who got creative to find the renter. And so, I appreciate it. But there's so many conversations I have
Right.
where
Oh,
people
yeah, right.
just don't take
Right.
action.
Right, and it's all about the mindset, man. And I've heard this one thing is they said that you can't change nobody. That's like the hardest thing to do is like try to change somebody.
Yeah.
Somebody have to make up in their mind to change like their mindset. And we had plenty of conversations. And after the conversations, you're right, I still have to like have that mindset and say, hey, look, I'm going to do it. I'm going to move forward. And that's the biggest thing. Just changing your mindset. Changing your mindset. Nobody can. I don't care how many videos you look at. I don't care how many motivational conferences you go to. At the end of the day, when you walk out of it, you still have to have it in your mind that, hey, listen, I'm going to do what it takes to succeed.
How do you do that? So I leave a conference. I'm stoked, right? You know how those conferences do. And you walk by the table that you have to buy something, right?
Right.
Like you said, I'm not going to buy it. But you said you're going to take the action that you heard. How do you do that?
How do I take the action that I heard?
Yeah, for anyone who's listening that found themselves backing out over and over, like if you could give them, like how do you make that happen?
Right.
How do you go and actually take action after learning something?
Right. I think basically setting a goal. Like you have to set goals. Like you have to set daily goals. You have to set weekly goals.
Yeah.
You have to set monthly goals. I'll be honest. I read Rich Dad Poor Dad, my first book. Reading it outside of high school after graduating, it was like, hey, look, read this book, right?
Wow.
So it's not about how many
Who
books
told you to read that book?
Well, I think you kind of introduced me to it.
Oh, did I?
You said something about it, but when I was working at Bank of America as well, I asked this guy for advice. I seen he had a bunch of money in his account. I'm like, man, hey, what do you do, sir? Like, can I talk? He was like, he reached down and he's like, hey, have you read the book Rich Dad Poor Dad? I was like, no. He was like, I don't want to talk to you. So
man.
I was like, okay, all right, cool. Well, he's like, I don't want to talk to you until you read the book Rich Dad Poor Dad. Like, you can't ask me for any advice. You're standing behind this Bank of America window, right? This tele window, and you're asking me what I do to get money in my account, which it was kind of harsh then. It kind of messed up my entire day. But what I did, I went and looked up books. And like I was saying before, it's not about the books and stuff like that and how many books you read. Like Eric Thomas, right? He said this one thing is it's not about how many books you read. Like you take all the books that you read and apply one thing to it, right? Apply one thing out of each book you read and see where you're at. So to answer your question, as far as goals, it's just setting daily goals, weekly goals. Every single day, what I've seen, I have a to-do list, right?
Right.
And you introduced time blocking to me.
Yeah.
So meaning that if you stick by those daily goals, to-do list, and during the time block, then you can succeed. You'll see yourself, because I think some people they fall off track when they see it not. Some people want to see something happen real fast, right?
Oh,
so when it don't happen, and they say it takes 21 days to start a habit. So some people won't even do the 21 days. They won't stick with it. So what I've learned that you have to stick with it, and the only way you stick with it, just remind yourself every single day what you're trying to accomplish, right?
Yeah.
So if it's oh yeah, I'll think about it once a month, or I'm gonna do this once a month, you'll find yourself off track, because distractions are out there.
Right.
Yeah, that's one of the biggest things that will
That's what's so important about time blocking, is because distractions will come your way.
Right.
And as long as you've looked at your calendar and you said, as long as I focus on this one thing that will help me reach my goal, no matter any distraction that comes my way, I'm not going to give it any attention, because I've already looked at my calendar. By doing this, we'll get closer to my goal.
Exactly. That's it. Daily. It has to be daily.
Yeah.
You have to be working towards it. I mean, it's not going to be handed to you. Nothing in life. So you have to go out there and work hard and stick with it. You leave any type of motivation you get, you go and apply it. You're hearing it, but you have to go and apply it. Nothing in this world is free. You go to Burger King, they won't even give you a extra sauce without charging you. So I mean, you have to pay for it.
It's been a while.
Yeah.
Oh.
You have to pay for everything. Yeah. I mean, you have to pay. And you have to put it in. So
Yeah. All right. So say I'm listening to this and you motivated me. And I'm like, okay, tomorrow I'm going to wake up and I'm going to do that. And he mentioned something about looking for long grass in a yard. And yep, that's what I'm going to do. I'm writing, I look for long grass, and real estate investing is something I want to be a part of. What's my next step?
I will say this, man. I'll say, if real estate is if something you want to be a part of, and people say, it's all about what you have, what you have to spend. I'll be honest, I don't care if you got $100,000 in the bank, right, that you can spend on buying a house.
Right.
I would tell everybody to start off wholesaling, find out like what wholesaling is all about, because if you got $100,000, right, and you don't know anything about the business, then guess what? You're gonna probably lose that $100,000.
Right.
The chances are very slim.
Right.
So for any newbie, come on and say, hey, look, I'm thinking about real estate. I heard great things about it. Start wholesaling. Like, see about wholesaling. Wholesaling deals is just understanding the business. Like, so meaning that if you're driving through a neighborhood and you see, high grass on the window, like you were saying, put it on a contract. You can still put a house on a contract. You can knock on a door, put the house on a contract, and then you can wholesale it to other investors. That way you don't have like a lot of skin in the game, and you still can receive a profit off of it. And then what you do, you build your capital, so you can pretty much use that to do a flip. And it's easier to do it after you understand the business. It's either do a flip, you can use the money to do a flip on a house or buy and hold. But, try not to spend so much money starting off. I think that's where a lot of people fall short. They see HGTV. Remind you, HGTV is only like 15, 20 minutes, after you take out the commercial. And think that, oh, you know what? I can do it. And it's not that easy. They don't show you the things that you really have to go through. It's just like, after the episode, guess what? The house is done and it sells for X amount. So I would tell anybody to start off wholesaling. Read books, wholesale, and you'll understand the business and then start coming to you.
Yeah. So, all right, wholesaling. I'm glad you went there.
Okay.
Now that's what I'm looking into. I'm a little, and we'll go into more advanced conversation. I think this would be good for anyone who's just now looking at real estate investing. So wholesaling sounds like it is something that I put a home under contract. One, where do I even get the contract?
Okay.
And number two, who am I giving it to? You said investor, but what does that look like?
Right.
Yeah.
So you can get the contract pretty much, online. You can get the contracts from a local real estate agent, honestly, because you can really get you can assign your contract to an investor. Investors are all around. Everybody wants to be an investor, right? So you can even advertise on, Craigslist and say, hey, look, I'm looking for different investors. And what you do when you start off, get you an investor list, right? So you'll know, if I get a house under contract, then I can call this guy Mark, and I can call this guy Terry, and I can call this guy John, and I'm going to send them the deals to see if the deals are appealing to them. And honestly, I've just wholesaled a deal I think in February. I think we closed on a wholesale deal, and pretty much made a nice chunk of money, pretty much what I would have made in a flip after buying this and buying material. So I would tell everybody, there's different forms. I know I get mine from an agent that you can use, and when you go to the person that has been trying to sell the house for a while, you go, you tell them, you make contact with them. I have a website too, you can make contact with them. You make contact with them and you say, hey, listen, what are you trying to sell your home for, right? And they may say, I'm just ready to get out of it, and you tell them, hey, could you give me, 30 days or 45 days to buy your home, right? So at that time, if they agree to it, say she agrees to it, right, for whatever amount it is, say if it's $20,000, and she agreed to it, and at that point, you got it on the contract, she has a signature, your signature, everybody signed it. So now you have a contract that you can possibly assign over to another investor. So then that's when you go and you can say, hey, listen, you tell another investor and say, listen, I have a house under contract right now, and it's going to bring you a nice chunk of money where you can come and look at it. And you can wholesale it for $30,000 or $35,000. At that point, you don't have no money in it, bro, besides the gas and, I guess
the time, the
conversation.
Yeah.
And then you wholesale the deal to the investor.
Gotcha. So it's important to know who your buyer list is. Your investor. Are they going to flip it? Or are they going to rent it? and if they get it at this price, what is the either cash flow on the buy and hold investor, or what is the profit for the flip investor? But either way, for you as the wholesaler, how do you make money once you've shown them how much they can make off of it? But you as the wholesaler, because you said you had to make money in order to use the money to use as capital for later real estate investing. So how do you make the money?
How do you get the money off of the deal?
Yeah, how does the wholesaler make the money?
How to wholesale? So basically, like this one deal, I'll walk you through this one deal that I had in February. So basically, you know, the lady pretty much, she was out of state, never seen her before, never met her. You know, she owed like $20,000 on a house, right?
Gotcha.
She wasn't attached to it. It was from a divorce, and she just wanted out. She just wanted out. So at that point, I was like, hey, listen, I want to buy your house, right? I knew that it was a good house after fixed up and everything, and I knew that I could wholesale it, right? But I'm not in the business to flip. You know, I like buying and wholesaling. So then she agreed to it. She was like, it's a mess. It's a mess. It's a mess. I don't know if I want this home. I'm like, oh my God. Yeah. And like, you know, I used to come up to properties and be like, oh my God, this is, but I'm like, no, this is money.
Yeah.
Right? So I see a house and any newbies, like, do not be afraid of, you know, a house. When you see a house look like a disaster, you need to be like cheering, like yes, because
the motivation is gonna be high on the seller part, right?
Definitely. Yeah. So I got the house under contract. I got my forms from a real estate agent. I said, hey, listen, can I get the forms to, you know, do this deal?
Right.
And I got the forms. I then pretty much emailed them to her. She printed them out, she signed them, she sent it back, so we had her in contract.
Yeah.
I asked her, I said, hey, can you give me 30, 45 days to buy your house, right? Because she doesn't care, right? Yeah. She doesn't care. I just told her I'm going to buy a house, right? I didn't tell her how I was going to buy a house, right? So then at that point, I had a investors list, right? Yeah. You know, I reached out to them, and I reached out to another guy as well. So what I did immediately, after you get the house under contract, you go, and a lockbox is roughly like, you can get a lockbox for what, $10, $15, something like that. I put a lockbox on the house, right? So that, with the key inside, so that way any investor, you know, comes up to the property, you don't have to be there. You can say, hey, listen, go see this house, make me an offer.
Right.
I was telling people to make me an offer, really. I was saying, hey, look, make me an offer. Yeah. Now what I did, that's why I say real estate agents are important. I know you don't need them, but what I did, I told a couple agents, hey, could you tell me what this house will sell for in the area? It's a CMA. Yeah. So what's compare market analysis? Could you give me a CMA on this house so you can tell me what it's selling for, right? And you want those things, that way you can show the investor that you're trying to, I guess, sell it to, right? So then pretty much the investor said, yeah, we want it. I was like, okay, make me an offer. I think they said $35,000, right? So then what I did, it's a real estate attorney, right? You want to have a real estate attorney. Any newbies, you want to have a real estate attorney and tell them, you know, pretty much what you want to do. You want to build a rapport with them. That way they know who you are, and you email, they can get stuff, you know, handled. Right. You know. So then I told the investors, hey, look, this is my real estate attorney. You want to buy this house that I have on a contract, right? Yeah. Wire the money in to the real estate attorney. I'm going to let my real estate attorney send you an email. I also told the seller who I was buying it from, $20,000, I said, look, this is the real estate attorney. Email the real estate attorney all the bank information about the house, and then we do a deal. So the investor, they wired their funds in, right, to the real estate attorney, and, you know, of course, they paid off the $20,000 mortgage that the lady still had on the home, and then the 15 was waiting there on Quick Property Solutions. So pretty much I told a deal probably took me maybe $100. I mean, that's with gas, time, you know, so.
Yeah, I think that's important. So would you say that, because I hear this from different angles, and we'll move to buying and hold. Right now, wholesaling, would you say that you need to look for the deals first, or do you need to have a buyer's list of investors first?
Right, that's good. That's a good question. I would say you want to look for investors first, right?
Yeah, me too.
You want to build investors first, because the last thing you want to do is overpromise and underdeliver. Right. So that's the last thing you want to do. So, you know, you build investors first, and you pretty much tell the investor, because the way the investor is going to look at it is you're out there getting deals from them.
That's right.
You're out
It's
there
a
working for
win-win
them.
for
Right,
sure.
exactly. So, I would say get the investors first, let them know pretty much what you do, build you an investors list, a buyers list, and tell them, hey, listen, I'm a wholesaler. I'm a wholesaler. I can bring you deals. Let me bring you deals because remind you're new to the game and you don't have the money to put out there.
Yeah.
And you just don't let them know what you do, and
Yeah.
then you go and get the house under contract, right? And look for sellers, and you say, hey, listen, I can sell your house in X amount of days, or
and then you have that combo.
or even I'll be honest, if you're an investor, right, and you come to an owner and you say, hey, look, I can sell your house in X amount of days, it may you're kind of sounding like an agent a little bit, right? And that's not what you're qualified to do. So any motivated seller that I approach, I say, hey, listen, I can buy your house, right, in 30, 45 days. And just that one word just changes everything.
Yeah.
So, they don't want to hear you trying, like, if you say you can buy it, then it's like, okay, it's already done, right? You say you sell
You're the buyer.
Right. And you say, if you try, I can sell your house in X amount of days. I know some wholesalers say that. Hey, let me sell your house in X amount of days. No, because then you're going to have the owner.
Well, didn't that open up other questions too? Like, what do you mean? Like, who's going to buy it then?
Right.
I thought, so are you a real estate agent?
Right.
Like, I feel like that kind of complicates the process a little bit too.
Right, exactly.
So I think that's important too, because if the buyer's list or the investor list, if they come to you and say, hey, listen, I won't buy a property unless it's near Starbucks, 3-bedroom, at least 1 garage, and when you're driving through the neighborhood and you're like,
that's it.
And you look at your hand, you got Starbucks in your hands, you just left Starbucks, and you see that 3-bedroom, 1 bath, one garage, and the grass is high. Right, it's all going to click, and what you focus on expands anyways.
Exactly.
And so maybe you see that, and then you don't necessarily put homes under contract that you don't have a buyer for.
No, you're exactly right. Yeah, and I think that some people do it, and then you have to go back. That's the worst thing. You have to go back to.
Have you done that? You had to go back to the seller.
I did. I went back. I had to go back to the seller, not because I didn't.
About that.
Not because I didn't have a buyer, but it was just one time I had to go back to. I was like, yes, I'm going to buy it. I'm going to buy it. I'm going to buy it. And the seller, I was like, I'm going to do it in 30 days. And my contractor went in there and he was like, oh, can you run? Can you run from this home? Have you already bought this home? I was like, I kind of already committed. And it's like, man, you're like, Tim, look, you need to run as fast as you can. So, man, I had to, go back to him and tell him, like, the deal's not going to work out, but, yeah, man, that was a bad thing. And that's...
So let's use your learning moment for other people. What did the contractor find that made it a no-go?
Yeah, the foundation. There's got 2 different deals about the foundation, but this one was a foundation issue. And also, when my former partner, we actually was on another deal where, and it's one of the things, the deal that I'm telling you about that fell through, I didn't buy it. I had to go back and tell the seller, like, hey, look, it's not going to work.
Right.
But I also had another situation where my partner and I, auction.com, right? So auction.com, you can't, like, see the inside of the house. Like, you can't walk in, you just see the outside. So it's a house over in the Haymount area. We're like, oh, man, this house is nice. This house is nice. This house is nice. And my partner's like, yeah, it's good. The numbers work. I looked through the windows. Everything looked great. Everything's great. And, he ended up, and he's a appraiser as well, and we ended up buying the house. We buying the house, and then the foundation was like messed up. So basically, we took on like a $100,000 loan that was all messed up. Like that would probably take us like close to $150,000 to fix up. Had to get an engineer involved. So meaning that I'll tell anybody that's before you buy anything, before you buy any house, get somebody that is experienced in that area. And this is the thing, I'll be honest, like I have sent like three different contractors to a property before I buy it, right? Because I want to know, one contractor may not see something that other contractors see, right?
That's smart.
So, you want to definitely get other people that it's their expertise right in that area. So I mean, you don't buy nothing just because it looks good and it's in a great area. That's one of the things that we did.
One of the things I built almost like this automated system for, I was getting deals, or I was getting leads. They weren't deals, I was getting leads. And I was passing them to another person because I was focused. I was still the team leader here, and it was just a lot of time I was involved with real estate investing. And we had kind of a scale system, and one of the scales was basically saying, hey, if the foundation's shot, take off this much money, but we'll still buy it. And what we were going to do with it, we would buy it if the buyer made sense, and the buyer had to be either a developer or a builder who was going to knock down the property completely and just use the land.
Wow. Right.
Yeah.
Wow.
So maybe sometimes you can see those as long as your buyer is building, basically knocking down that home and selling the property wholesale, or the land wholesale.
Right. And the numbers have to make sense.
Right. Exactly.
I'll be honest. In real estate, a lot of people, they just tend to just get it just because they think it's a good deal. But if you get it and the numbers don't make sense, then you pretty much wasted your time and maybe even wasted your money. Because like one deal can stop you from getting so many more deals. Like I know people that really started real estate investor. Hey, I got it, and they invested money into it, and now they're like that one deal has like either terrified them or just messed their finances.
Yeah, I think that's important too. You got to look at every deal as, if you say yes to this, you're saying no to other deals.
Exactly.
So how powerful is this yes? Like if I say yes to this might be crappy deal because I didn't run the numbers, I'm saying no to great deals.
Right.
If I say yes to this great deal, I'm saying no to bad deals.
Right, exactly.
So important for the numbers. So where do you get those numbers? Like, where did you find those formulas and
far as
to build the numbers to see if it makes sense for wholesaling?
If it makes sense for the wholesale, like agents. I have agents. They told me the numbers, like, because you don't want to basically get a house and then the numbers don't work for the wholesale, because remind you, the house has to make numbers for us, however much it takes for material, and of course how much you're trying to wholesale the house for, how much profit it's trying to make, and then you have to see what it's selling for in that area. So meaning that you can't say if houses are going in the area, let's just say $80,000, right? And you wholesale a deal, and the investor has to bring in $50,000, okay, and then it's $20,000 on the material.
Yeah.
I mean, and he only can sell it for 80 something. Then the investor more than likely is going to shy away and walk away from that deal.
Yeah.
So now you have a house under contract where you told the person, the seller, that hey, listen, I can buy your house, and it's not even working out for the investor.
Do you have a minimal wholesale number? Like for when we were doing it was 5,000.
Wow, that's
like minimal. Anything else under that, maybe you need to shy away. Were you looking at any wholesale deals where minimal, this is my number, anything lower, I'm just not going to take the deal?
I would say, I guess $5,000. That's pretty much where we are. $5,000. We get $5,000 off the deal, unless it's just like an easy deal, and I know an investor. Unless I know an investor that told me, hey, listen, if you find a house in this radius, then I want it. Then at that point, I mean, it may take less, but
that makes sense too, because you're building that relationship.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
and starting off, you want to build a relationship, like you said, especially if the investor is buying homes.
Right.
Because this is this is the person that's going to fund you to where you can do other things in real estate. So I mean, I would definitely check the investor track record before just pushing them off, and you're just getting started. So meaning that you don't even have to work for this money, and you're building your real estate portfolio and your capital.
Yeah. So if you were to look at your business, and we'll take a snapshot of 10 deals, which we're close, right? 11. Ooh, we're close. Yeah, right. So if I were to look at 10 deals, well, no, not necessarily. All right, let me just get to it. If I look at 10 deals, how many of those deals are wholesale, and how many of those deals are buy and hold for you right now in your business?
In 10 deals, I would say.
Like how many of those deals would be buy and hold?
I would say maybe half and half. 10 deals, yeah, to be honest, because my goal is to have like these wholesale deals and then take them and either get paid off homes and turn them into buy and holds. So, like for instance, the wholesale deal that I had in February, what I did, I took that money and went and purchased a home in Massey Hill, like
Right.
just, paid in full and everything. So
Yeah.
and then just build that capital. So I'm using the wholesaler money
Yeah.
to buy my buy and hold. So I would say maybe half and half.
That's interesting. Do you have a wholesaler looking for deals for you as well as a wholesaler? Because you can only, my guess is, you can only cover so much ground.
Right.
But you also have a buy and hold business. So do you have like either a partner or just someone that you kind of reach out to and say, hey, listen, these are the deals I'm looking for. If I don't find it first and you find it,
Right. Honestly, man, no, and pretty much that's where business have grown. So it's like, man, I have a lot going on right now.
Right.
So like, I think Quick Private Solutions may, like, in the next few months have their first employee.
Right.
So
Cool.
I mean, I don't, but I do work with other investors and say, hey man, let me know if you come across a deal and it doesn't work for you, let me know.
Right.
So it's kind of like you have eyes out there for you, but they're not really working for you. But again, you have to watch that, because if another investor tells you that, hey, look, this deal don't work for me, then I want to know, like, why is he passing up this sweet deal?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So you want to stay looking out for that as well.
Yeah, sure. Totally get that.
Yeah.
Why buy and hold for you?
Passive income, man. I think I love it. I mean, I love it. I love to sit back and say, hey, listen, this house right here, this property right here takes care of the car payment. This property right here take care of the mortgage. This property right here take care of the light bill. And I love that residual income. And it's nothing that gets flipped, but it's like once you flip the money, like it's like, once you flip the house, it's like, man, where's the money?
Right.
Unless you like paying off some type of debt and everything like that, but you still don't have that residual coming in every single month, man. So, and then like I've been, I guess, a slave. I'll say a job. I've been working at a job for so long, and I had to go out there and actually work to get my money. So now it's like, man, if I could like sit back and put a business together and start a real estate company and let somebody else bring in that money, so they're going out there working for me.
Right.
So and that's why I love rentals, man. I just do. It's one of the things I love to buy and hold, and then you can always go back and refinance the deal, like the house in Massey Hill that I have. That's a rental, but I always can go and do the BRRRR method.
Yeah, BRRRR. I was like, when is he gonna drop that?
Yeah, BRRRR. Yeah. I can always go and do the BRRRR method, and I still have the property there. I'm refinancing it, right?
Yeah.
Tenants in it, paying it down anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, there's no mortgage on it, but the tenants are in it. They don't know what's going on. I say, hey, somebody's coming over.
Sure.
Refinance it, take that money, and go buy another property.
Yeah, man. I can't think of another way of where it's like a win-win-win-win-win.
Right.
Win, it's helping you out get to the goals that you want to fund your life.
Mm-hmm.
Win, because you've now uplifted the neighborhood by kind of fixing up the home in order to get a renter. Right. You didn't leave it with the grass growing over the windows.
Exactly.
So now you make the neighborhood look better. And
Exactly.
I've said this before in a podcast for anybody listening. And the other win is for the person who actually got in the home.
Mm-hmm.
They needed a place to stay.
Yeah,
Is it the
exactly.
school district? I don't know, but their why in moving to that home meant something to them.
Yeah.
And like, where else is there so many wins
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
in an industry?
Right. And and it's funny you mentioned that, because I had one deal where the lady was about to foreclose on her property. She's been having the house for a while, and I was able to buy the house from her. So help her out, prevent foreclosure, right? At a great deal, great deal. And then I was able to put somebody else into the property that didn't have the best credit, and they was just like, hey, look, my credit isn't the best right now, but I'm almost there, right? I'm almost there. I'm working on it. Pulled a credit report, and then pretty much put them into the home. So now they won,
Right.
So it's good, man. And then of course that's another buy and hold from Quick Property Solutions.
Yeah.
So definitely, man. Everybody's winning, like you said. Everybody's winning.
Yeah.
Everybody's winning.
Exactly, I agree.
So.
And even the contractors that need to go in, now you're funding their business.
Exactly.
It's such a great ripple effect.
Right, man. And for anybody just starting, man, I think that you working a job. Anybody's
Oh, you're good. I just don't want the battery to die.
Okay, okay. Yeah, if anybody's working a job, I mean, and say they love their job, I don't know if my grandma ever heard this, so they are a storyteller, you know, they're a storyteller. They say they love it, you know, because, you know, you're being controlled, you know.
Yeah.
So I tell anybody, like, if you're in a job, like, basically be working towards to get out of that job or work towards, like, something of your own. That way you can spend more time, you know, with your family and stuff. Unless, for instance, if your job is like a teacher.
Right.
And I know, you know, your wife is a teacher, right? Unless your job is a teacher, because that's probably the only thing where people really love changing, like talking to kids. But I can't see, like, no, I work at UPS and I've seen people that say, I love my job.
Yeah.
I can't.
Yeah. Like, so here, this may make you think for a second. All right. So given what you just said, you also said earlier you're looking for an employee. So, what type of employee are you looking for your business?
Right.
And are you going to kind of instill that same mindset in them, although they're working for you?
Right. And it's funny you mention that because I don't want an employee that just wants to be under me. And those type of people that are like stagnant and they're kind of okay. I want somebody that's motivated that comes in and help me, and I'm able to pour into them and they pour into me. Right. Pretty much understand what I do and then go out and do it for yourself, right? Because I don't want no employee, just a long time employee just sticking under me and just doing whatever, because that person is probably not motivated at all. They're not driven at all. So I would have to see some, and you told me this one time before, like, I want to know employee that I bring on, what do you want to do in 5 years? And if it's just work for me and not build nothing on your own, then you're not going to be the right fit for the company.
Right.
And I'll be honest with you, man, even with the tenants that I put into the homes, I want to know, like, pretty much what do they want to do. You get what I'm saying? I want to know, like, what do they want to do, because if you're just a lifelong tenant, that's good, but it don't benefit you as much, you know, because you're just a lifelong tenant. I ask tenant, that's part of the application process. You ever think about buying? Why aren't you buying? Or what do you want to do, you know, to own a home for yourself? And it wins. And when you share that interest with the tenants you put in, it becomes like a client. And
that's interesting.
Yeah, and you see people like start to take care of your home more. I mean, and doing things. I mean, I've literally asked people. Like,
because we so one of our investment properties, we got a 2-year lease, and I was like, yes, keep them in there forever. Right. But I didn't even think about that. Like,
it's good.
Yeah,
I mean, and it's good, but I mean, I just always want to know, like, what do the tenants?
Sure, no, and I think, you know, I think you get a return on their mindset.
Right, exactly.
Of, wow, he's looking out for me. Like,
right.
He doesn't I'm not just a check to this guy.
Right, exactly. And it doesn't becomes like a versus, like, you know, we're going against each other. Oh, I gotta pay this rent, I gotta pay this rent. Like, y'all don't become, it's more so of a team thing, because they know that, hey, they're benefiting, and of course, you know, I'm benefiting.
Right.
But where do they see themselves and whatever they want to do? I mean, and honestly, this is the beauty about it, right? This is the beauty about it, because if the numbers make so much sense, that's when you can pretty much turn your buy and hold to a flip. That's what everybody go crazy about. And I know people are like, what? How you turn a buy and hold to a flip? Because you offer them the rent to own method, right? So I may say, hey, if I have a house I'm going to plan on buy and hold, and I'm just do basic numbers, right? Just say the mortgage on the home is $100,000, right? And somebody comes in and they want to rent it out, and they say, hey, you know, my credit is almost there, but I got to rent. And then I pitch them that, you know, question and say, hey, what do you see yourself in after renting this house, or what are your plans after renting this house, or what are you going to do with your credit while you're in this house? Like, what are you going to do to work on it? Now I'm holding them accountable, and if they say buy it, and I really like this house or whatever, then I may offer them the rent own. And let's say if the house is worth like $150, then I possibly could sell the home for $140, $145, right, and have equity in it. So you think $100 from $145, that's what it'll be. No, that's not, because they'll be in there for a course of time. They'll be paying down the mortgage, which is $100,000, right? And then they put down a down payment initially. I forgot to put that in. So they'll put down a down payment, non-refundable, and then we agree to whatever terms. Every rent-own deal is different. Yeah. So we agree to the terms, and then they'll be paying down the mortgage. They'll be paying down that $100,000. So it's like renting. So they paying it down, and then a portion of whatever we agree to goes into a little savings for them if they decide to buy the house.
Oh, gotcha.
So then that money will be towards the money they put down, and then they'll be able to use that at the bank when they go get financing for the home. So at the end of the lease, they say, hey, look, okay, yeah, we're going to buy.
Yeah.
So then they go and find financing for the home at Bank of America, Wells Fargo, wherever, and say the mortgage is like $95,000 because they done paid it down at the time. It was $100 when we put them in there, and then let's say they down at like $140, and then we get a difference. You know, I get out of it. I go and get a loan for $140 and pays off my loan.
Wow.
So now I have that money, and I can really go and, you know, use that money to buy maybe.
Yeah. With those people that do that, right, where they get, I guess, a slice of the American dream, when they've been told that they can't, because of credit or whatever.
Exactly.
And you're able to afford them that opportunity. Do you ever do you throw them in? I know this is gonna be like my nerd side, but do you throw them in a database and you never let them go, although deal's done, right? You got your house. I don't want this to come off the wrong way, but you got your house. I got my money. Deal is done. Do you keep these people in a database or some kind of reminder system that reminds you to constantly reach out to them? Because those people will forever be cheerleaders for you.
Yeah. You saying after the deal is done?
After the deal, and I will forever keep up with you because, again, they're going to be cheerleaders for you. Man.
Right. And I do because references. I'll be honest, that's how I've got a lot of businesses, because the referrals, references.
Yeah.
So meaning that, like, I like to go back. I look at my clients as or tenants' clients as like live reviews.
Right.
You know,
that's right.
I don't
100%.
Live reviews. So I want to be able to go back and say, hey, listen, if I'm talking to somebody, I'm sitting down with somebody and telling them like I want to buy their home.
Right.
I want to be able to go back to say Miss Sue and say, hey, listen, you can ask Miss Sue, you can ask Mr. Mark, you can ask Mr. John, and then, you know, believe it or not, some people call, some people don't. So I have a list of references that they can call. I give it to them, and then pretty much they feel more comfortable. So you got a list sitting there in front of you, like, you know, 11 different people that you can call.
Right.
More than likely, you're going to be like, oh man.
So who do they say help them out?
Quick Property Solutions.
Boom!
Yeah,
Alright,
exactly.
good.
Exactly.
I was hoping you would do that and not say Tim, right?
Yeah, no,
because that's the power of branding.
Right,
now your brand's bigger than you. How you want it.
Right. I don't want to know Tim. Like, it's funny you said that, man. I'm putting together a promo video I'll show you after the podcast.
Cool.
And everybody, it's like 15. It's gonna be 15 different people. Only thing they're saying in the commercial is Quick Property Solutions. Quick Property Solutions. Quick Property Solutions. Quick Property Solutions. As a guy got a ladder, he's like Quick Property Solutions. Like, so meaning that's branding. I don't want it to be about Tim. I don't want it to be about Tim. And I wanted to be about Quick Property Solutions. So, you can know that Tim is, behind the scenes or something like that, maybe, but I don't want to be all about me. I want to brand the company.
What's cool is, even with you saying that, and then we kind of reverse a little bit, is you said, you're not trying to find an employee that starts at 9, they clock in at 9, and end at 4, and they clock out at 4, but you're looking for someone with a bigger vision, and that will allow them to grow within your vision, because you're building a large enough brand that they can grow into.
Right, exactly, man. So
it's important.
That's good. I love it, man. And that's a good way to look at it. I didn't really like
that.
That's a good way to look at it.
Well, that's why, I started a different firm and came here at KW, and KW, you're allowed to brand yourself so much so where you get a logo, which I'm having challenges with a logo. That's why I was like, where'd you get it?
Logo ground.
Oh, that's interesting. Let me use that. But you're allowed to brand yourself because they understand the importance of branding.
Right.
And people don't work with this KW, they work with your brand.
Right.
And the larger you build your brand, the larger you can build your vision.
Right.
And the only reason we do this within KW is KW's built a big enough vision for us to grow into.
Right.
Our own brand. So it's really cool to see that when I asked you who are they referencing, you were like, it ain't me.
Yeah,
and I was like, oh, it's awesome, dude.
Yeah, it's Quick Property Solutions all day, man. It's kind of like, I'll be honest, man, I've been studying this. It's funny you mentioned that. Ever since you came to Keller Williams, I've been studying Gary Keller. I was like, man, what is he thinking? Like, I want to know what that guy's thinking. I want to know what he's thinking. And even though I'm not like a real estate agent and still real estate investing, I still want to know like what this guy is thinking. Like, man, guy has built a phenomenal brand. So, and pretty much what he does is allow people to build underneath him. And
Yep.
you know, that's why I say, man, I enjoy it, but anybody I bring aboard is definitely got to be motivated. You
Yeah,
know?
for sure.
I heard this one guy, the guy for Dogwood Realty. Was it Dogwood Realty?
Yep.
Yeah, I heard him say, and it kind of stuck with me. I think one of his.
What's his name?
Yeah, I don't know, but I know Dogwood. I know
Hey.
Dogwood. Exactly.
Funny how that works.
Exactly.
Right?
I know Dogwood.
Good, man.
But man, I
Love
heard.
it.
Yeah, and he's branded Dogwood. So
Yep.
don't know his name. I apologize, but
It's okay.
I heard him say that one of the mistakes he made at early was like bringing, different people on. Like basically, if you say he was looking for, some firm, he was like, hey, come on, he's hiring.
Yeah.
So he said that was one of his mistakes. So definitely, I'm at the stage now. It's like I have a bunch on my desk. It's a bunch of stuff. I have people calling and other deals. I got one guy right now reached out, about buying his house. He lives in Texas. It's like I have so much, so it's like I have to bring somebody else to the table to help out.
Sure.
Like an employee, but hopefully they're motivated.
Yeah. So employees about to come into your business.
Mhm.
What do you see that you need to leverage off, and what do you see that you only you should be focusing on right now?
Mhm.
So you need to leverage. What is this that you're leveraging off to the new employee?
Right. So I would say, far as paperwork more than anything. I don't want to hire somebody and put them out there and let them speak for myself right now without knowing the business.
Right.
Put them out there and just say, hey, listen, you can cold call, you can do this. I don't agree with that. So just doing some administrative work first, but still understand pretty much what the company do and what the company stands for.
Yeah.
But more so still letting me be the face, because the last thing I want them to do is mess up a great deal, and call out there and just say, I don't know, I have to call you back, so, so that's one of the main things.
Yeah, it was super important. When we're working with agents who are looking to build a real estate business, the first thing we want them to leverage is the paperwork, because what you focus on expands, and all you're doing is focusing on paperwork, more paperwork's gonna come. You got to be out there building your brand, building the vision, working on the business, and how do you do that? You got to kind of walk away from all that paperwork. So it's cool that that's that next hire, that next strong hire that you're looking for.
Right. Yeah. And that allows me to be out there, still trying to close deals. While somebody else is doing the paperwork. It's like, hey, you do the paperwork. I don't mind, teaching you the business or learning, riding with me, whatever you want to know. I help you out, build your brand. But this, you have to know how to paperwork the structure, and that's back to wholesaling. You want to make sure if you get a contract, you want to make sure it's a signable contract as well. And if you get a contract, and then, because basically what I did is assign my contract to the investors. It's still wholesaling, but I assigned contracts to other investors.
Right.
So if you get a contract that's not assignable, then you can't assign it, right? So meaning that when you look at your contract, and I don't have one in front of me, but when any newbies out there in wholesale, one thing about wholesaling, when they look at it, they want to see and make sure that the contract is assignable. That way they can assign it.
Right.
So knowing the paperwork, So that's important. And one word can change the entire deal. So if you don't know the paperwork.
So what are you seeing that? What would you say is the number one mistake you're seeing newbies make?
One mistake I see that newbies make, it's funny. It's funny you mentioned that, man. Is not having some type of system put together. They're just kind of freewheeling it, and I'll say any newbie that is interested in it, you need to find somebody that either done it or watch videos of somebody that done it. Don't try to get out there and watch a few videos and get out there and say, okay, I can do it myself. You don't do it. You don't get taught how to swim and then 3 days, 4 days later you're like, oh, I can do it, and jump out there. Chances are you're gonna drown. So that's what I'm saying. A lot of newbies do, and a lot of newbies are really looking at. I know a guy right now, man. Honestly, he is kind of stuck on a deal, man. He started a flip, and he has a flip, house that he rehabbed, and he's trying to flip it, but every single month he's dropping that price. He's dropping that price. He's dropping that price. He's dropping that price, and that's because he didn't do his homework. And remind you, the house, I think he paid $60,000 for,
Yeah.
and maybe put like $5,000-$6,000 in. You know, and it's one of the things like if he would have started up wholesaling, then it would have been different. But he kind of jumped off the porch,
Right.
like I guess looking at HGTV.
Yeah, just got excited.
Yeah, and what the bad thing about it is because houses like around his house are selling, like
Yeah.
selling. So you know, it's one of the things. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know if he got like too much invested in it. I don't know if he want too much for it. All I know is like he just didn't do his homework.
Yeah.
Because houses
Yeah.
out here, and you ask him how many deals you have, and how many is this your first deal? He's like, well, it's my second deal.
Yeah.
So you know, I don't know what his first deal was, but even on your second deal, like you still have to just do your homework, man.
Second, third,
he said,
fourth,
yeah,
fifth,
he said it was a
sixth.
second deal. To me, honestly, it looked like his first.
Yeah.
Yeah, so maybe he just said that.
He's
just
like,
to
don't
say-
worry about it.
Yeah,
I've done
yes.
this before.
Second deal.
Yeah.
Man. So
Okay.
that's
Alright.
that's one mistake, man, that newbies are doing, man. It's just not doing the research and not having like a system. You want to have a system. You don't want to know what everything costs because again,
Yeah.
if the numbers don't make sense, the deal doesn't make sense.
Right.
You know, you're not
All
just,
about the numbers.
because again, another thing I tell newbies is you want to the IRS as well. So you want to include the taxes that you have to pay on the money. So you may
Yep.
thinking that it's this, and I think it's like 19.8 or something in taxes that you have to pay. So even when you
That's
know,
it. What? Yeah, we're the, like at 30-35% on our deals.
Yeah.
Dang.
I mean, you know, even when you get a deal or you get a flip, you want to analyze
Right.
that and put that cost in there as well.
Yep,
I mean,
yep.
so you definitely want to, you know, see, okay, what am I going to pay in taxes?
Yeah.
That's another important thing.
Yep.
Because you may flip a deal and guess what? The majority of it may be eaten up in taxes.
Yeah,
So,
for sure.
yeah, a lot of newbies not doing their homework.
Yeah.
I agree. Yeah.
I mean, you gotta look at that. I mean, if someone grosses $100,000 in commission
Mhm.
checks, and we're looking at a 30-35% cut to Uncle Sam,
Mhm.
you know, that's $30,000. Have
Right.
you prepared for that?
Yeah, right.
You know, have you taken it out of every deal, shoved it into a tax account? I mean,
Mhm.
are you truly? Because if not,
Mhm.
30,000 is the least you're looking at.
Right.
I mean, that's a punch in the gut for someone that's not
Mhm.
prepared. So okay, so let me ask you, veterans. What are you seeing what's a mistake that veterans are making? People who've been in the business for a while that you're capitalizing on.
Veterans, I've seen veterans sometimes bite off more than they can chew. You know, it's sometimes.
So just ego, you think? Just
I,
buy.
I don't know, man. Maybe it's a little bit of, I guess, both. I noticed one veteran kind of bit off more than he can chew, man. And it's kind of like, you know, things are flowing. And, you know, you still have to treat what I've seen, right? Is you still have to treat every single deal like it's your first deal. You know, the first deal, how you was kind of like analyzing everything, making sure that this
Yeah.
number match up. Okay, making sure I have this in place, making sure I have this in place.
Yeah.
Like making sure everything match up, and it's like they on deal say 10, and it's like, oh, I got it, I can do this with my eyes closed. And then they start one project and then started another project, and it's like, you know, I know there's one investor, he's like, man, yeah, I'm trying to flip 2 homes at a time. I'm like, oh man, and now he's still having two homes that he's working on.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that would definitely be to me a mistake.
Yeah. Yeah, I find that, you know, when in the beginning of some of the people that I work with building their business, I talk about their standard, you know, because, you know, it's easy to leverage yourself out when you have built a standard high enough that people appreciate you for your standard,
Right.
right? And then anybody and everybody who joins your business at that point meets the same standard, then everyone's kind of happy. So it sounds like for people who bite off more than they can chew, if they built a standard, like you said, from the beginning, like their first deal, here's the standard, this is what I do.
Right.
And if they're going to go for 2 deals, what's the standard that I have to put in place? And if I can't do it, then I can do 1 or 2 things. 1, I just don't take the second deal yet.
Right.
Or 2, I hire someone
Exactly.
that can meet the standard, so I can do them both by not missing a beat because my standard's so high.
Exactly.
Start building that standard from the beginning.
And you know, it's funny you mentioned that, and it just made me think, man, that's another mistake that I believe that veterans are doing. Well, some veterans, not all veterans, right? Some people that's been doing it for a while, they try to cut costs, right? And they try to do every single thing themselves, right?
Greedy.
Yeah, greedy, right?
Ugh.
So when they cut costs, you don't understand. When you cut costs, you're trying to cut costs. Like, oh, I need to cut costs. So now you're trying to do this, you're trying to do this, you're trying to do this, trying to do this, and you're here, and guess what? You're missing other deals. It's missing other good deals. So
You're saying yes to that and no to those.
Right.
Yeah,
exactly. So you hire somebody. I'm not gonna like get a rental, right, or get a buy and hold. I'm not gonna get a buy and hold and try to like do the cleaning and do the floors and do it. I'm gonna get a buy and hold, and then I'm gonna get somebody who's expertise in that area and say, hey, listen, what are you charging to do this?
Yeah.
What are you charging to do this?
Yeah.
And yeah. So I've seen people that literally say, I was talking to this one investor's older guy. I was like, hey, well, who do your work for you? Oh, I do all my work. I'm
and
like,
proud.
Yeah, and proud. So while he's like right there,
Yeah.
30 days going in, other deals are just, you have people like me, like just trying to get, move on.
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, you also raise your dollar per hour activity too when you start leveraging that stuff out that someone at $15 an hour can do, or someone that $12 an hour can do. You'll raise your dollar hour activities because you're smart enough to leverage it off, because not only do you raise your dollar per hour, again, they hold a higher standard because that's their one thing. That's all they know, and they're going to do it way better than you could ever do it.
Exactly. And I could be, somewhere in front of a computer or driving around. I could be driving around, focus on bringing, more passive income and getting financial freedom. I didn't start Quick Property Solutions to be a contractor, right? I started Quick Property Solutions to, one, give back and create a passive income. So
I think it's so cool that you were able to see that. I know that you've done real estate for a while now, and if you look at your business now, it's about a year and some change old, and you were able to, you were able to see that at such a young age. You're not even 30, correct?
No, 28, man. 28.
Yeah, I mean,
28.
for you to see that now, it's going to pay off huge dividends for you in the future.
Right. And it's one of the things that's just being disciplined and just being humble but still hungry, and that's I love it. My grandparents, man, my grandma, she actually keeps me humble, and my granddad keeps me hungry. So it's like you got the best of both worlds.
That's awesome.
And it's just staying humble and disciplined.
What keeps you hungry? Cause is he still investing in any other
Oh,
deals?
of course.
Now that's why he's keeping you hungry.
Now he's
calling you back out there.
Right. Oh, what deal you saying? You seen any houses in LA? I'm like, yeah, I seen it. So meaning that, he's my private lender. He's my private lender because I built a track record again, and I would tell any newbies, that's important as well. And when you decide that you want to branch off and get a buy and hold, or you see a new house and say you haven't wholesale deals, right, to build your capital, and you haven't wholesale any deals, so you still don't have any money, but you see this one deal that could possibly be a good rental, just a good deal. You want to make sure that you're just networking out there with different people, different lenders, different contractors. If you're in real estate, you need to be networking. Real estate agents, all that. Like you need to be networking with anybody that's involved in real estate. If you're in real estate, hey, look, here's my business card, and here's, can I get yours? So that's important because you're going to come across a deal. So meaning that you want to have that private lender, and with me building a track record, my grandfather seen my track record, that I can go to him and say, hey, listen, still with the numbers now. I still can't go to him and just like.
Well, good. That means you kept your standard.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter if it's the family member.
Right.
I'm still going to keep my standard.
Exactly. And I still present the numbers to him and say, hey, listen, this is this, and that. Remind you, he never knew anything about real estate. Nothing. Just like he wasn't interested in it. And then when I presented the deal, it's just like,
oh, he got interested real quick.
Okay. Right.
Yeah.
So,
well, I mean, and the reason the reason I say that is because it's not, and we'll say it 100 times, it's not so much about the money, but it's what good the money can do. And for an investor, or like an investor like your grandfather is, the money that he makes off this is, again, not necessarily about the money. It's about what good the money can do for him, his life, his family, and which adds another win to the whole win-win-win that we were talking about.
Exactly, man. That's why real estate is a beautiful thing, man.
I'm gonna quit. I'm gonna come work with you.
No, man. No. I need your motivation now. I need your motivation. I'm trying to definitely get you to coaching, and that's one thing, man. I think that I have the 11 doors, and should be closing on 2. You can never get enough coaching, and that's what I tell any newbie. get some coaching. I mean, get some coaching. You cannot think that you know everything, and you cannot say that, okay, I got it all figured out, because you don't. I'm 28, been doing it for 4.5 years, and I still know that I'm like, hey, I need some type of coaching. You have to keep getting it, and you have to, man.
But I mean, even when you say you know the business, because like, how long has real estate been around?
Oh, long time.
Long time. Super long time.
Yeah,
but how much has it evolved? Like
Everything.
the way that you get business, the way that you communicate with people, the way that deals are put together. I mean, this thing is constantly evolving. So it's cool, real estate.
Right.
But understand, life moves on.
Yeah.
And it evolves, and you kind of need to evolve with it for sure.
Right. Exactly, man. Exactly. And that's the good thing, man, is like once you make it up in your mind that this is something that you want to do, it'll keep coming. Like no matter what. Like remind you, I don't have right now. I'm building my marketing team, right?
Yeah.
So I did this one without any marketing, right? Any marketing. It was just like hustle, hustle. That's it. Like no marketing. Facebook. I haven't had Facebook in like 6 years. So now
I tried reaching out to you.
so now, like Twitter or nothing. So now I'm like, okay, well, I reached the point where I'm gonna, I still can outsource those things, right? Because I don't want to just be on Facebook or like put up a stat or whatever.
Yeah.
But if I have to, I will. But now I reached the point where okay, now I'm gonna bring marketing in. So now I like understand the business, and now I'm just branding, Quick Property Solutions. So the next few deals should come pretty quick.
Yeah.
So I'm just thankful, man.
So do you see, is the marketing team, do you see that they'll move to Facebook, Instagram, all those other platforms?
Yeah, I have this one girl. She basically she market pretty well.
Yeah.
On Facebook. So I've got a few ideas from her to see pretty much what it would take to brand my company.
Yeah.
So she gave me a few ideas. So I think Facebook is going to be the start. And like I said, we have that promo video that I've sent you. That haven't been released, and we're working on another that promo video where everybody's saying like Quick Property Solutions, so that haven't been aired yet. So I think Facebook's first, and then Instagram like next, because nothing against I guess people my age, but a lot of people my age kind of like on Instagram a lot. I see a lot of people like homeowners basically. I see some homeowners that like trying to get rid of their homes and sell their homes, probably on Facebook, right?
Right.
So that's what I've seen, but we may go over to Instagram or something. Like it's more buyers on, Instagram and Twitter and different social medias. Like my grandma uses Facebook, so I'm like, okay, the majority of your friends are a little older.
Yeah.
And my mom is on Facebook.
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay, well, I need that target audience, somebody who's been having a house for a while, and like they're like, you know what, I'm just trying to check out. I don't want it anymore. So that's pretty much my focal point.
Yeah.
So I mean, see where it goes. Like I said, I'm new to this.
Yeah, that's so cool. Like, so anyone who's listening to this think, nah, I got to put a ton of money to the marketing side to get leads.
No.
You've gotten to the position where you're at now, not doing that, and you're just now thinking about marketing.
Yeah, just now. Yeah, I think I have like one friend on my Facebook, and that's like my business Facebook, Quick Property Solutions. Yeah, well.
Quick Property Solutions.
No, not 10, no, man. on Quick Property Solutions, like one person up there. I think that's the girl who created it, right?
Right.
So, yeah, man, I think we'll tap into that around towards the end of the year.
Yeah.
So definitely gonna try to get people for the new year that's like excited and just want some type of different environment, and just say I want to sell my home. So those are going to be the people that I reach out to on Facebook and try to tackle. So I hear there's different ways to advertise now on Facebook, man, which is great. So I definitely want to.
I help you out with that.
Yeah. Oh, it's cool, man.
Yeah.
Well, you probably gonna be my coach more than likely. So I mean, definitely. But
no, I could I mean, it's just the only reason I like Facebook right now, and everyone who's listening is like, that knows me is like, oh, here he goes.
No.
It's just so underpriced. It's so underpriced. I mean, when the bigger companies start shoving money at it, it's just going to drive up the price, like Google AdWords and stuff like that. Remember how that used to be cheaper, and now it's like up there a little bit? Facebook's, we're in the early stage of Facebook where we can promote or boost in these different areas that you see that buyers want, or the buyer investor wants to buy in. And you're shooting that promo video in just those locations of this age to this age, not
Right.
hitting younger because they don't have equity or might not even buy. Like
Right.
you can get so centered on your client
Right.
or
Right.
your seller that
Yeah.
it'd be interesting. It'd be
Yeah.
interesting to see what you get out of that.
Right. And just knowing your target audience. That's the main
Yeah.
thing. Like knowing your target audience. So that's one of the main things. Like, see, for your company, like, man, you're good. Like all the way to 18 to 60.
Yeah.
You find people to 65 that still
Yeah.
need some type of coach.
Yeah.
And I'm going to be hopefully one of those people, like, still learn, because you can get to a point, like, if you're not like exercising your brain or building the
Yeah.
biggest muscle in your body, it's like you're gonna just be stagnant. Yeah. Forever. So you're in a good, your target audience is probably somewhere from what range from 18 to what, or 19 to, or what would you say?
Well, honestly, I'm seeing younger. But
Oh yeah,
yeah.
So that's good. So I mean, you have
Mhm.
a wide range,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
that's perfect. That's perfect. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's not so it's odd because it's not so. How many older people have you seen that's like, like when are they gonna learn?
Mhm.
And you're not even 30.
Right, right.
It's such a mindset thing.
Mhm.
It doesn't really matter about the age. It's the age and their mindset.
Right. Mm.
Like you see all these older people, you just like shake your head like, oh,
Yeah.
when will he grow up?
Yeah.
And you're not 30. And,
Yeah.
and but then you see young people that
Right.
are very humble, like you
Right.
said, and they already know their plan. They know why they have their plan. And you're like,
Exactly.
man, that's someone I want to work with.
Yeah. And it's sad, man. I heard this one saying, man. Most people die at 25, and they aren't buried until they 75.
That hurts.
Man, meaning mentally,
Yeah.
that
Well, because
that,
how many we've been taught, get a job,
right.
right? Get a job, and then get married, have a kid, retire.
Right.
Hopefully, Social Security will be around.
Right,
And then
exactly.
you die.
Yeah,
Like-
exactly, man. And I had to deal with that. And like I say, unless you're teaching, like the youth is very important.
Yeah.
So I can see how like teachers like may love what they do and like truly passionate, because you want to see the youth like do well.
Yeah.
Like it's I can tell it's a good feeling. Like if I see my teacher when I go back to my hometown, it's like, oh my God, you're doing so well for yourself. To know that they had something to do
Yeah.
with, like when I was younger, to put something in me to be here.
Yeah.
So meaning that may be a good feeling, but the majority of the like jobs, man, that try to like, it's like a carrot and a donkey. And for those that don't know
Yeah.
about the carrot and donkey, man, jobs put the
Carrot in front of you.
carrot in front of you just for you to walk. It's like 401k and
Yeah.
this and that. And then I've seen people like, oh yeah, when I'm 60, 65, I'm gonna travel the world, I'm gonna go on vacation. Like, I'm like, no.
Yeah.
No, please,
Yeah.
like, no.
I know.
I'm gonna be doing that with my grandkids. Like,
Yeah.
I'm trying to do that now.
Yeah.
Like, of course, put in work, and like that's what I'm building to now.
Yeah.
I'm not waiting for until I'm 60,
Yeah.
65 to travel the world.
Yeah.
Like, no, man. And that's what jobs do, and that's a part of the reason why I got in real estate. Like, man, I can really put a lot of hustle in this,
Yeah.
and I won't build somebody else's dream,
Yeah.
or I won't like let somebody control my life. So, man, I mean, I commend you. It was one of the things, like, man, you shocked a lot of people, and like you motivated me. I was like, oh, you know what? This time I have to do something different.
Yeah.
Like, I'm gonna be honest with you, man. You honestly put my like grind to another level. Like, so meaning that if I was in gear 5,
Yeah.
and after you departed from a company that you was with for like what, 13 years?
12.
12? Okay, well, 12.
Yeah. Felt like
yeah,
35.
Yeah, and you was the guy there, bro. You
Yeah.
was the man. Like you knew how to do everything, like everybody's job, right? And then for you to just be like, and they let you do what you want. You pretty much did what you want.
They were like, what are you doing? I was like, whatever I want.
Yeah.
But I was checked out mentally.
Right, exactly, because you done been exposed to like bringing different stuff to
Yeah.
the universe, right? So, but like we had talks, and it was just that time where you was like, you know what, I'm out. Like, hold on, what you mean, you leaving? You're like, yeah, I'm out. I was like, oh my God, like, so that really put like my grind mode into like a different gear, man. So you're definitely a reason for a lot, or
Yeah.
for them 11 doors pushing, man. So
You got to look at that. I mean, I appreciate that.
Yeah.
And it was mad scary,
Mhm.
because it was mad scary because it wasn't just me. I had a daughter I had to
Mhm.
raise, and like insurance and all that stuff.
right,
But you know what was scarier?
right.
Not doing it. Like
right.
not doing that and not seeing what could happen in my life and dying like with regret with a company that could care less about me. Like all that started hurting way worse than this temporary pain of discomfort.
Right, man. And
so
I see you do that. Like, bro, that is a big, I was like, what you gonna do? You're like, man, hey, get on the grind. I'm gonna just do real estate. And I was like, I'm gonna do stuff for myself. I was like, oh my God.
Yeah.
I got it. And man, that definitely motivated me, man. And it's crazy you mentioned that, man, because, I, of course, won't say any names, but I seen a driver that was kind of emotional one time. And this is another thing that kind of, I think Oprah called them aha moments, or some people call them aha moments. This is another aha moment for me, was when I seen a driver there, and he looked like he was, a little emotional. I was like, hey man, you alright? Everything's okay? He's like, no, I'm alright. I was like, you alright? He's like, well, they telling me I can't be able to go to my daughter's prom. I was like, oh my God. So that right there, I felt bad for him. Gave him a little pat on the back. I'm like, what do you mean? He's like, well, my job is telling me, UPS is telling me I might not be able to make it to my daughter's prom. They sending me out here to work, and I'm not going to be able to make it to my daughter's prom. I was like, oh my God. I was like, you couldn't call in? And like, nah. And then you get written up. I was like, oh my God. So that moment right there, I was like,
no way.
Man, I do not want to be like, when my son gets older, to tell him like, hey man, somebody may not, I can't come to see you graduate. Or,
that's scary, dude.
Yeah.
And like, so there was a few years I would sit with the drivers during peak season, and I'd be like, all right, how did I check? They're like, oh, that check amazing. I'm like, cool. All right. How that home life though? Talk to me about that.
Yeah.
And I just heard some horror stories, and it just started scaring me. And I was like, okay, so if you talk to 10 people and you hear that 8 conversations that sound the same, what does that tell you your future's going to look like?
Right.
I mean, the math right here is telling me that it's not going to, for what I saw my life to be, it wasn't going to be where I wanted it to be. For some people, that's excellent, and that's great, and I'm glad that they're happy. But I heard that too many times. Yeah. And then I saw a guy get fired because he said, nope, I'm going to my kid's baseball game or football game or something, and he got fired for it. Wow. And I was just like, heck no. It just can't. And then, man, Christmas time, like the best time of the year. Yeah. It was like the hardest, busiest time. Yes. And I remember knocking on this person's door, like vividly. Knocking on this person's door. The man answers the door. It's nighttime. We're just trying to get all these packages off because we're Santa. I mean, anyone listening believe in Santa, we're still Santa. I knocked on the door. The man answered the door. And past him, everyone was at the table, like 2 kids, the wife, and they were smiling, and it was warm inside. And you could smell that food when you opened the door. I was like, and all I could think about was my family. Right. Wow. And I'm not there. Right. And like, so who's at the table? Right. What are they cooking? Like, I wanted that life so bad. Right. When they opened that door for sign here, 15 seconds completely changed my outlook. That's good. Yeah, and I was like, I gotta have that. Yeah. I gotta have that.
I would tell a lot of people, they're oblivious to it, right? Yeah. They're oblivious to it. So I would tell any newbie that's kind of about real estate, my job, I'm not telling people to leave their job. I'm just telling them to pretty much use the money that they receive from their job and pour into their own, corporation or LLC when it comes to, real estate, if that's something they want to do, until you reach a point and you see what you make at that job. Like, see the job that's controlling you, see what you make. Like, see, okay, what am I making after taxes, right? What am I making after taxes? Because, those, they walk around, I'm getting paid $16 an hour. No, you're not. Not after taxes. After taxes, you take that out, you probably get paid around like 12, 11 or something like that. So, that's part of the carrot that jobs do. So, meaning, take their money and build your own dream. Yeah. And that's what I would tell newbies. Don't quit. Because honestly, I'm part-time. I'm still there, right? I'm still there. But in a few, I don't know when, but in a few, I'm going to reach the Garcia moment and be like, hey, listen. Yeah. I graduated.
It's still, from entering real estate, it's to deciding it was, and by the way, I hired a coach to help me out.
I remember that,
It was 10 months. It took 10 months. So, you're right, though. Look at what that amount is. What do I have to do in order to get that income? Because I knew if I make as much as a driver, I'm done. Yeah. Because that's the end game. When you're there, you're like, I want to be a driver full time. Yeah. And as soon as I had enough pending in real estate, that I was gonna fund 1 month with that. That's it.
Yeah.
I went in. I turned in that 2 weeks notice. And coach was like, "Go for it," and never looked back.
Wow.
How'd this turn into my story, man? It's about Tim
That's
and
good
Property
because
Solutions.
no, man, and that's true. Well, I'm saying you're part of like the reason why Property Solutions even exists, like because you had an impact on me and newbies. Like, you know, when you was at UPS, we kind of spent a lot of time together. So it's all about your surroundings, right? And 100%. You want to stand around like-minded people. So as you was transitioning over to a different mindset, like I was like right there, like man, I'm trying to you know build this as well.
Yep, because we were looking at stocks, we were looking at trading currencies.
Yeah,
I mean,
exactly.
we were just like trying to figure this thing out.
Right,
like
this
isn't it.
Yeah,
so
this
what
is
else?
not it. This is not what we want to do.
Yep. And
so,
for people that think like they can't find that circle at their work, bull.
Right.
I mean, one thing you can do, because where we're at now, you can download a book.
Yeah.
And you can shove that earpiece in your ear.
Oh,
you
definitely.
know, and you can escape your so-called reality in that moment. I mean, you can build your own reality even if you don't have a circle.
Exactly, man. It's all about what you want to do.
Yep.
It's all about what you want to do.
I'm gonna shoot over some questions your way. Cool.
Okay. Perfect, man. Oh man.
All right, you ready?
I'm ready for this. Yeah.
It's the lightning round.
Man.
All right. I'm going to skip a few because we answered a few.
Okay.
What have you gotten better to saying no to?
Better to saying no to. You know, young man, so it's like every single deal that I would possibly come across and close on, I would find myself like celebrating, right? But I was celebrating and like I was getting away from the financial freedom number because I was getting away from the goal. So I would close on the house and like, oh man, celebrate, kind of take the shoes off, relax and celebrate. And you know, I still have I still haven't reached my goal, you know.
Right.
So I have to say no when, you know, I achieve a milestone or something in real estate, to know like I have to keep my head down and keep on the grind because I haven't reached the point that I want to be at.
Right.
You know, and Bill Belichick, you know, the Patriots coach, he it was amazing to me, man. I heard him say they had just won a championship. Like, I mean, just won a Super Bowl. Like, they won a Super Bowl. I forget what year it was. But they won a Super Bowl, and they went up to Bill Belichick, and he's always got, like, this little smirk. And it was like, he was like, how you feel about Super Bowl? Now, remind you, when you're playing in Super Bowl, the other teams are, you know, at home, they're looking, they're training and everything. Right. You know, they're getting prepared for next season. So they asked him, they was like, hey, how do you feel about winning Super Bowl? He was like, I'm kind of frustrated because we're 5 weeks behind. I'm like, meaning that, you know, he's saying that 5 weeks behind until the new season because all these other teams out here working. Yeah. And he's like, man, yeah, we won the Super Bowl, but now we're 5 weeks behind in practice. So, man, that right there, I took that and I was like, dude, that's it, man. That's it. Like, meaning that it's not done until it's done. Yeah. So I have to say no to celebrating after every home. I have to look at it like, I got it, you know, good job. Yeah. Put it to the side and keep grinding. Yeah. It's not over. So I have to say no, man.
Do you start building a habit of doing that to where you hit that number of passive income every single month? And would you say, and I don't know, this is me just asking, would you say that you got so used to doing that when you finally hit that number, do you celebrate? Like, do you hold that moment, or do you ask yourself what's next because you're so used to doing that?
Yeah, I say I ask myself like what's next. Like, I don't really want to. Celebrate, man. It's not time to celebrate. Now, when I reach my financial freedom number, and
that's what I mean.
Yeah. When I reach that, you said when I reach the financial freedom number, I mean, I think that's when it's time to celebrate, but still celebrate lightly. Yeah. Like, you still have, you know,
you still can.
That's what's next, right? Celebrate lightly because you want to know. Like, I think like once I hit the financial freedom number, I still just don't want to just be, you know, sitting around the house. Like, who knows? Quick Property Solutions, we may start teaching, you know, real estate or whatever. You know, we may start. Who knows? So, meaning it's not going to be the end. So it's not like. So I celebrate, but celebrate lightly.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. I thought what was pretty cool with the MREA, or the Millionaire Real Estate Agent book. You know, it teaches. Honestly, you can look at that book. You don't have to be in real estate. Mm-hmm. You can use that book to build any business.
Right.
It's
Gotcha.
crazy.
Gotcha.
Anyways, at the end it says it's going to teach you how to net $1 million. And now MREA 2 comes out, Millionaire Real Estate Agent 2. It hasn't come out yet. But the end game of that book is how do you net $1 million, and after that, how do you give $1 million?
Wow.
So that's some next level thinking.
Yeah,
because if I net $1 million and I give away $1 million, I'm broke. So how big do you and your business have to be in order to give $1 million every year?
Yeah,
so it's like, what is next? What is next? How much bigger can I grow?
Yeah.
It's just.
That's good, man.
I think we fall into that though, because we're always asking what's next, and we celebrate lightly, and then we move forward. That when we hit that number, we're kind of like, dang, we did it. We kind of sit back and we kind of smoke a cigar, drink some scotch for a second.
Right.
And then we look up like,
what's next?
What's next?
Yeah, what's next? And it should be probably like teach, some people. Yeah, teach some people to pretty much what you were doing, that changing people's mindset and say, listen, I did it. You can do it. Pretty much was coaching, but you already kind of tapped into yours already. It's like, hey, listen.
Well, I don't know where it's going to go, because it was just going to be real estate, and then now I'm working with people who aren't in the real estate business. Right. It's, it's just the power of action. And then you'll see other things that pop up, and who am I to ignore that type of opportunity? You know?
Right. Exactly, man.
All right, I got another question for you. What profession other than your own would be fun to attempt?
Profession and my own. I think we pretty much said I would want to teach it, man. We just kind of talked a little bit about it, but probably teaching. Teaching. I enjoy teaching. What? It would have to be something real estate, because I'm not like I guess a pro basketball player or anything like that. Yeah. But probably teaching, man. Teaching like the youth or somebody who because one thing they don't teach in like high school is like anything about financing or anything about like financial life. It's
that goes against the model, my friend. It's like keep that undercover.
Right. So I would want to teach, primarily real estate, but also have different people that succeeded in something else to just motivate like people fresh out of high school, man.
Yeah. So what school would you hit first?
I would say probably my high school. Probably my high school because Pamlico County High School, because it's like so small and like pretty much like kids they don't see anything else. Like you literally have people that we just got a stoplight, by the way. So it's a real small high school. So probably my high school, start off there. I can get people attention and say, hey, listen, I went to school here. I was in your shoes X amount of years ago. And you can do this and you can do that if you put your mind to it. And
how long would it take you to prepare for you to feel like you have the material to do that, to do something like that?
Well, it's funny you mention that, because a great coach just told me to start documenting everything that I do.
Yeah.
A great coach just told me to start documenting everything that I do. So I would say not long, long as I had the material, because I'll document it as I go along. So it'll be. Yeah, so I would say maybe after the light celebration, maybe a few months, I would, put different minds together to see, pretty much make sure I'm on the right track.
Yeah. Do you think what you know now could change their life?
Yeah, definitely. I think so.
When's the next time you're going there?
Yeah.
See how I'm setting you up?
Yeah, exactly. And that may be
It might not be a bad idea.
Right.
I mean, I would stretch to say that you know enough now. You don't need to know everything.
Yeah.
Because you're not really there to teach material. You're teaching them how to think.
Right.
And I think you could do that. And I think that if the sooner you do that, the more chance you have to impact their lives and then other people's lives and a ripple effect.
Right.
So the next time, off this podcast, let me know the next time you're going down there.
Perfect.
And challenge yourself, because it's worked for you in the past to commit first, for you to get what you need done, right? Yeah. So I think this is just another piece of that.
Opportunity, man. I thank you, man. Thank you. Opportunities. Hey, anything for the newbies, if they could take anything. Opportunity, man. You have to take it. But you have to analyze it and commit. Yeah. And take it. So that's good, man. I appreciate you. I appreciate it. Yeah, that's definitely
and just
good.
document that. Make sure you report that, please.
Document. Yeah. You got another question? Or?
Yeah, sorry.
Okay.
All right. Purchases of less than $100 that have most improved your life.
Purchases less than $100. I would say the bulletin board, man. I would say got like a little bulletin board from Staples where I put my daily to-do list. Put the daily to-do list up there. You know, put any other documents up there. I mean, that was less than $100, and of course, pens and paper, notepads. I would say I still, you know, you have to put things in a database, but still writing things down. So tablets and stuff, all like that, man, that's still something that I use.
So the bulletin board, you would say, because it's constantly putting your goals in front of you, and like your tasks.
It's putting my goals in front of me. It's putting a to-do list. It also I put up there pretty much anybody that I need to follow up with. Anybody I need to contact for that week. So you know, it's something that. It's something minute, but it was definitely something that's, it's been definitely working for me. So actually seeing it too, you know.
Agreed.
So that's every time I walk in to turn my room into like a little office. My fiance and I, so turn it into a little office. So now it's just like we have to see the things that we do, and it's definitely got us ahead, man.
Yeah.
I mean, you'd be amazed to see once you write it down and you have to see it, set reminders, still do the proven by Ruben time blocking.
Yeah.
But also write them down as well. Yeah, write them down. And another thing for how much time?
I don't know. It's blinking. It's the first time I'm seeing this.
It's all
good.
Oh, were we done, man?
Almost.
All right, cool, man. I'll just say one other thing, man, where I messed up at, and I just want to encourage newbies that go and do the buy and hold. That if you get a mortgage on it or whatever the payment is, make sure that it's not like higher, not like basically I won't get any mortgage payment if it's not like around like $500-600, because another mistake that I made was getting a high mortgage and now I have to rent it out for high, you know, higher amount.
Right, and then you limit your market.
Exactly. People shy away from it.
Yeah, for sure.
But yeah, man.
Oh, we ain't done.
Okay.
So, I mean, it's blinking, but we'll keep going.
All right, cool.
So yeah, I think it's important. Have you read The Miracle Morning?
Miracle Morning? No.
It's a great book,
No.
and in there it gives you an acronym of things you should do in the morning, and one of those is visualization, and that's kind of what you said. You know, you look at you're constantly being exposed visually of what you need to accomplish. So big on that. On that. All right. What since I've peppered you with questions, what question do you have for me?
Let me see, man. This is good. This is real good, man.
I had to just do
pretty much like how. Okay, for this is something that I've struggled with. Like you have a family as well.
Yeah.
So the balance, like, right? So I know a lot of newbies gonna want to know, like, you know, you just hustle. But how do you balance family time and hustle?
I don't. You don't.
Okay.
You hold on 1 second. Oh. I think it stopped recording. Yeah. That's okay though. That's why I do this right here.
Okay.
But I'll say real quick. You don't. Dang, now that's bothering me. Now that's bothering me.
Man, we too long.
No. I should have put new batteries in there, and I did not. It's all good. Hey, you guys are catching it first. See, I'm excited to come back and look at this 10 years down the road. And
man, so let's record it.
Yeah, 3 batteries. Do you got a second?
Yeah, I got a second. Can you edit the podcast?
Yeah, oh yeah, post-production. Something I had to learn too. I see two. Oh, dude, I'm down.
Hey, man, you should have told me I was going long, bro.
No, dude, we go like 3+ hours sometimes. I only have 2 batteries. That's messed up. You got a battery?
No, battery. No, man, you know, nope.
No?
I have my You gonna ask somebody? You gonna ask somebody?
Look at this. No. Look at this. Come on. Oh, dang.
I didn't know I was talking that long.
No, you're good.
Don't.
Don't.
Alright.
Stop. You're good. I'm telling you. You're good. I am we're just gonna answer this last. Don't make fun. This is something I help people accountable to their goals, and if they didn't reach their goals, they had to wear this fat suit and run around the office.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That's good.
Quit doing it.
Man, I didn't get to tell people my one thing to fail, man. I just really want people to really succeed, man, especially doing this. You know, you find some people that try to hold on to every little thing. But you got it?
Yeah, no. This thing has a screwdriver. It has a screw on it. But there's batteries in there. I might break it.
Can we go ask somebody, man?
Oh, there's the screw. No, we're good. Alright, go ahead, man.
No, it's a failure. I think one of my failures was, man, trying to do everything. Like, once I was introduced to investing, like, I was trying to do all the investments in the world, and I didn't focus on, like, one investment. You know what I'm saying? But I don't have to say that, man.
It's all recorded.
Oh, man, we still going live?
Hey.
Oh.
Yeah, we're still
We're
live.
still live. Yeah, man, but I would say that was one of the places I messed up on, man. I invested in a food truck and
Oh yeah.
Yeah. A whole bunch of other things, man.
Well, I think when you're that desperate to not be where you're at, like not wanna, you know what I mean? Like
Right.
when you find a way, or you feel like you found a way. Alright. Can't hold me down. Can't hold us down.
We back in action. Proven by Ruben and Quick Property Solutions.
Woo!
Yeah.
So, battery died, and we are back in action with full battery. I'm not sure where it
I
left
was
off.
asking you about hustle and like family, like your balance. Like
Right.
I was want to know your balance because it's like every time, you know, see you, it's motivated, you're driven. But I also know that, you know, your family is important to you. And I've
For
also
sure.
seen you before with your family. So it's like, you know, you got your family with you, but you're working. So how do you do that?
Yeah. So I think the first thing you do is buy this book, The One Thing.
Okay.
And the second thing you do is you understand that for me, and some people may disagree, that there is no balance.
Mm.
There's counterbalance at all times. I mean, there's high frequency counterbalance that may trick you into balance. Like you think you're balancing, you're not. It goes back to you saying yes to one thing and no to something else. So if I go to work and I'm saying yes to work, I'm saying no to my family.
Gotcha.
I mean, I am, right? In this moment, I am. I'm not with my family right now, you know? When I say yes to them, I'm saying no to work. So it's a counterbalance.
Gotcha.
And sometimes it has to be super high frequent. So the way that I do that is I look at my calendar and I say, okay, when am I going to spend time with my family?
Okay.
And I time block it.
Right, gotcha.
And then I talk to the wife and I say, hey, listen, when do you want to hang out? You know, date night, whatever that might look like.
Right.
She lets me know. I time block it. My daughter, time block it. Vacations, time block it.
Good.
So,
good.
I mean, she sent me a text not too long ago asking for me to time block 2 things next month.
Oh yeah.
And it's just.
So you keep it in the family, so now she's accustomed to it, so she knows, like, okay, when we're about to spend time with each other, like, I know he has to put in the time block because he's just so driven.
Yep.
Perfect.
Yep.
So you get her used to time block. Everybody's on the same accord.
Yeah, and that's a win-win too, because, you know, I don't feel like I'm missing out on anything in the business world because, you know, because she'll ask, do you have anything going on this day?
Right. Gotcha.
And I'll say yay or nay, or yes, but this time I do not. And she'll say, okay, well, time block that time. That's me time, you know? And I'm like, cool.
Gotcha. Right.
So now I won't set any appointments, any podcasts, any coaching appointments. I'm not traveling. I'm just going to be right here hanging with you. And I saw this coming a week ago. And when you and I are together, it's you are my one thing.
Right. Wow. That's where you're talking about the book One Thing.
The one thing.
You have to take that up, man. Wow, that's good. That's good because that's something that you know, I pretty much struggle with. It's like, man, it's like I'm trying to be hustle, but I have to make time for my son, my fiance.
Yep.
You know, I have to make time for them as well. So at times it's like I can be so driven, but it's all about managing your time, like you told me before. So man, time blocking is definitely. I got a Google Calendar now, man. So
Yeah, it's huge.
I think that should definitely. That's less than $100, and that should definitely
It's
put
free.
yeah, exactly.
Dude, it's
exactly.
free.
So that should definitely help me out.
It's important because it does not only that where you can spend more time with the family, but it also exposes all your gaps. So then you look at your calendar and you say, man, I'm spending a lot of time with family. I'm spending a lot of time in my business, but I'm still not getting the results I want. Go into your calendar. You'll see from 9 to 11 is a gap.
Gotcha.
Cool. So what could you do in that moment? What did it do?
I just did some blasting.
Whatever you do in that moment, you know, it could drive it. Whatever activity you decide that you're going to fit in there, make sure it's going to get you closer to your goal, or spending more time with the family, one or the other. But it will also expose all of your gaps in your calendar. How many times do you hear this? I don't have enough time.
Yeah.
Why don't you go do this? I would. I got enough time.
All right.
It's like, cool. Can I see your calendar?
All right.
And they're like,
what calendar?
what calendar? What's your calendar?
Right.
And it's like, well then, I mean, I have the same time you do.
Right.
Ben Franklin had the same time you did. Why is he able to accomplish so much more than you are?
Right.
You know, so don't tell me you don't have enough time until you show me your calendar.
That's good. That's good. That's
Yeah.
true. Yeah. Yeah. And I love the fact that you said if it's not on your if it's not time blocking, it's not on your calendar, then it don't exist. I was like, oh, I threw my phone. I'm like, oh, oh my God, what?
Yeah.
I was like, man.
Yeah, we take a class here called Bold,
Mm-hmm.
and Bold has all these life lessons, and one of them is if it's not on your, they say I believe it's not on your schedule, but I've always used it. If it's not on your calendar, it doesn't exist.
Right. Yeah. You was actually taking the class and still working at UPS. I remember. Is that your first time taking? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. I remember it. I was like, man. And you was coming back. I think you was coming back like, man, what is this? Like, you can. What am I doing? Like.
Mind that expands never retracts, and as soon as you expand your mind to what is possible.
Gotcha.
And not what's probable, like what's probably going to happen, but you expose your mind to what's possible, and then you walk into a place like UPS.
Yeah.
Now, UPS used to be amazing for me.
Right.
I'm speaking for me. Used to be amazing, dude. I mean, we used to get turkeys every Christmas, like solid turkeys. I used to bring back to the family, and then it turned into coupons, which is cool. I would, and then it turned into nothing, and then because we went public. So profit was a bigger issue than the relationship you built. So yeah, I go in there and just like, no, there's so much more possible.
Gotcha.
Yeah. But to answer your question, calendar.
Gotcha.